So we could start with prayer before we get started. Let me know y'all ready.
Come on.
You got it, sis.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Pray for it. Why have us for mercy upon us, for allowing us to make a sin of Sabbath, for allowing us to have another Shabbat. I pray we have a beautiful study session with the Spirit. I just pray continue to allow us to grow together. I just pray continue to allow us to fight these spiritual demons together. Have us sharpen up this iron. I pray whatever you feel our spirit to do the same. For this Bible study to do it. And I pray that's done to be some more. Have us I pray continue to increase in this truth. One of our blessings with this, I pray continue to add us the spirit of righteous Lord mothers. I just pray continue to add us traits of righteous woman. Have us pray the fear increase in our heart. And I pray continue to put our hands to the plow, mouth to back. Have us or they have us I pray the angels to start on writing in the word their families and always. I pray the Yahshua family is homeless and that purpose things if and only then I will be both say how shall say amen. Father lay how brush you must look out shot, brush dash the wine look out shot.
So, okay. Shalom. So, of course, we want to do all things in decent order. And then, Sirach 11 and 8, just being, real mindful of, just not cutting any sister off in the midst of her speech, so answer not before the house heard the cause, and then interrupt me in the midst of their talk. So whatever sister has the floor, let her have the floor. Give me 1 second, I'm thirsty out. So yeah, this this lesson is going to be going into doing the work so your candlestick don't get blown out. And I'm nobody. I'm not gonna get on this call and tell sisters, hey, you finna get sick up. It's true, but script did say you ain't doing the work, so your candlestick will get blown out. And there's a plethora of precepts of the Most High, taking His Spirit away from people. It's plethora of precepts. So we're just gonna go by the precepts. And we just gotta make sure we're all doing the works in this thing, so our candlestick don't get blown out. And I'm talking to myself as well. We gotta be in these scripts daily, being diligent in this truth. Because if we're not bearing any fruit, if we're not doing the works, we can get cut down in this thing. So kind of just want to say that first. But first precept I'm gonna get is Revelations 2 and 5. And then so Revelations 2 and 5 is, remember therefore from whence thou art fallen, and repent and do the first works, else I will come unto thee quickly and remove thy candlestick out of his place, except I repent. So we don't want the Most High Yahweh to remove our candlestick, right? We don't want our fire to get blown out. We don't want the Most High to take His Spirit away from us, because it's His Spirit at the end of the day. And we don't want the Most High Yahweh to do that. So we gotta make sure we're doing the work. Turn upon the table. So I'm gonna be flipping these pages so I can scribe. Actually, one second. So we gotta make sure we're doing the works. We don't want our candlestick to get blown out. We don't want Yahweh to blow our candlestick out, to remove His Spirit, to take our fire away from us. And we need that steady burning still. But the Most High Yahweh will remove it if we're not doing the work. So we gotta make sure we're being diligent in this thing, because we didn't do nothing to get this truth. Absolutely nothing. Yahweh owes us nothing. And let me get this precept, because I was reading Ephesians today, and it's a precept. I was rereading it. I was rereading Ephesians today, and it's a precept that really, really stood out. was a precept that really stood out. And I never really really thought about it, but here it is right here. Revelation, like Ephesians 2:8. I'm gonna start at 8. For by grace are you saved through faith, and that not of yourself, it is the gift of Yahweh, not of works, lest any man should boast. So we're not in this truth because of any works we did. We're not in this truth because of any righteous thing we did. We were wicked, and we still go off to this day. You know, our sins are innumerable. We still go off to this day. So none of us are in this truth by any works we did, by any righteous works. So let's not boast. None of us are not in this truth because of any works we did. We're only in this truth through the power and spirit of Most High Yahweh, His mercy and His grace. That's the only reason we're in this truth. So with that being said, Yahweh owes us nothing. The Most High want to sift us out. He can do that because the Lord gonna do what He want to do. You know, so we got to make sure we're staying diligent. We got to know our place in this truth because we don't deserve this truth. So we have to stay diligent. We got to do the work. So you're not going to be on fire every single day of the week. We're going to have our days. You might have a mental breakdown every now and then. You might cry. You might have one of those days where you just feel like you're back against the wall. But we got to continue to get up and press toward the mark and, you know, do the works in this thing. We do not want our candlestick going out. You know, Yahweh Shemashah owes us nothing. So we got to do the works. So I yield on that. If anybody had a point real quick they wanted to, you know, bring out. Shalom, Brianna.
Shalom.
Nobody had anything? No, I'm gonna go to the next person. All right. Okay, so this is Revelations 3:15, a classic. I know thy works that thou art neither cold nor hot. I will thou wert cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. So you don't want to be lukewarm in this thing. You don't want Yahweh Shemashah to, you know, take His spirit away from you, to remove your candlestick because you're lukewarm. You don't want to be halfway in this truth highway. You're either in this thing for real or you're not. You can't choose to serve the Lord on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturday, and Sunday, you saying to hell with the Lord. I don't feel like reading. You don't get to choose what days you want to serve the Lord. You're either going to be in this thing 144%, serving the Most High Shemashah and sincere in the truth, doing the works every day, or get your candlestick blown out. You're either going to be in this truth for real or you ain't. You know, you gotta make a choice. The Most High Shemashah brought us in this truth by His mercy and grace, which He didn't have to do. So either do the works or get sifted out. We gotta be diligent in this thing. We don't want our candlestick to get blown out. We don't want Yahweh Shemashah to take His spirit away from us. You can't choose, oh, okay, well, it's the Sabbath day, so I'm gonna read today. As soon as the sun go down, I'm back on my hot girl stuff. You don't get to choose when you want to read and when you get to study. You don't get to choose what you want to do. Fallacy, you got your hand up, so so you can you got it.
Khan. I have a precept in Revelation chapter 3, verse 16. And it's just landing back in off of what you were just saying, you know, not wanting to be lukewarm in the truth. So this is Revelation chapter 3, verse 16, and it reads, so then because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. So Khan, we have to make sure that we can't be in between in this thing. We can't be, like you said, one way or another. And then that goes back to the one precept that talks about, you know, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So we don't want to be double-minded, but we want to stay on one track, which is the track, you know, we want to stay on is to get into the kingdom, doing the works, you know, those things of that nature. So Khan, I yield.
Khan, I'll praise this, co-praise. This is Joel 12:14. Behold, he breaketh down. Behold, he breaketh down, and it cannot be built again. He shutteth up a man, and there can be no opening. But once the Most High Yahweh Shemashah takes His spirit from you, there's no getting it back. Once you fall out the truth, you can't come back into the truth. Once the Most High Yahweh Shemashah take away that spirit of you doing the works, take away your spirits, His spirit of you, you know, using your talents to provoke good works, take away all those spirits He's giving you. Once the Most High Yahweh Shemashah take His spirit from you, there's no coming back. Once he give you over to those strange doctrines, ain't no coming back. Once the Most High Yahweh Shemashah give you over to those things, there's no coming back. You cannot come back. So we got to do the works now. Let me get this precept. Let me get this precept. This is Proverbs 27:1. Boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth. So we need to be doing the works now. Don't say, oh, I'm gonna just read tomorrow. I'm gonna just study tomorrow. I'm gonna just, I don't feel like reading right now. I'm gonna just do it tomorrow. You don't know what tomorrow gonna bring. If we even see it tomorrow, how do we know all hell ain't gonna break loose tomorrow? How do we know that Jacob's show was not gonna kick off tomorrow? We literally don't know these things. So don't boast yourself tomorrow. Okay, I'm gonna just pray tomorrow. I'm gonna just study tomorrow. You don't want the Most High to take a spirit away from you. Let me get this. Hold on. Con, I got that. That was the first piece of I pulled up. Con, I'll praise. But Con, you don't want to boast of tomorrow. You don't want to boast yourself tomorrow. I'm gonna just read tomorrow. I'm gonna just study tomorrow. I'm gonna just pray tomorrow. You don't get to take a day off in this truth. Like I said earlier, you don't get to say, oh, well, I'm gonna serve the Lord on Mondays and Tuesdays, but the rest of the week I'm not gonna serve the Lord. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. One second, y'all. Let me pull this precept up. Yeah. Okay. So this is Judges chapter 16 and verse 20, and it reads, and she said, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he woke out of his sleep and said, I will go out as other times before and shake myself, and wist not that the Lord was departed from him. But the Philistines took him and put out his eyes and brought him down to gaze and bound him with fetters of brass. He did grind in a prison. So Samson was like, I'm gonna just do it tomorrow. I'm gonna just do it another time. I'm gonna just do it another time. And then he didn't know that the Lord had departed from him. He didn't know that the Most High Yahweh Shemashah took his spirit away from him. So you don't want to say, I'm gonna just read tomorrow. I'm gonna just study tomorrow. I'm gonna just give this sister counsel tomorrow. I don't feel like dealing with this sister today. I will call her tomorrow and see if she's okay tomorrow. I'm not answering her phone call today. I don't feel like giving this sister counsel. I don't feel like praying for this. I'll just do it tomorrow. And that's selfish as heck. And that's a slap in the face to the Most High for the Most High to bring us into this truth, and we don't want to do the works. Well, I'm gonna just do it another day. You don't get to do that. You just got to do the works every single day. And you should want to serve the Lord. That's where being sincere comes in. You should sincerely want to serve the Most High Yahweh Shemashah. You should sincerely want to do the works of the Most High Yahweh Shemashah. Samson didn't even know the Most High had took the spirit away from him. Anybody have a precept they want to bring out? No? Okay. Okay. All right. So let me go to the next precept I want to get. This First Chronicles chapter 16 and verse 11. seek the Lord and his strength, seek his face continually. So we gotta seek the Most High Yahweh Shemashah every single day. We gotta do it continually. We gotta search these scripts daily, and that's Acts 17 and 10 and 11. We gotta search these scripts daily. Again, you don't get to take a day off in this truth. We gotta stay diligent, or our candlestick can get blown out. And again, I'm not gonna be on this call and be like, sis, you finna get sifted out this truth. You finna get the Most High finna destroy you. You finna get sifted out this truth. I'm not finna do that. Because I'm nobody. But we're not staying diligent. Our candlestick can get blown out. Thus saith the Lord. This Acts 17, and the Most High gave us these precepts on how to prevent that. Staying diligent, doing the works, Lord willing. This Acts 17, 10, and 11. And the brethren immediately sent away Paul and Silas by night unto Berea, who coming thither went into the synagogue of the Jews. These were more noble than those in Thessalonica, and that they received the word with all readiness of mind and searched the scriptures daily whether those things were so. So we got to search these scriptures daily. We got to pray daily. We got to read daily. We got to study daily. We got to read, do these things daily. You don't get to just choose which days you want to read, choose which days you want to study, choose which days you want to fast. You got to do the works continually. You got to seek the Most High Yahweh Shemashah continually. And why wouldn't you want to? The Most High blessed you with this truth. He could have called another, but he gave you the opportunity to get right. He gave you the opportunity to repent. The Lord is not dealing with the entire nation of Israel, but the fact that he gave you his spirit, he brought us into this truth. He gave us the odyssey ear to hear. Why wouldn't we want to do the works? The Most High Yahweh Shemashah deserves that. And it's our salvation. We got to work out our own salvation. So we got to do the works. So we must do the work. So we got to search these scripts daily, day in and day out. You got it, Hadassah.
So I just had John 15 and 16 just to let me back off what you were saying through the Spirit. It says, "Ye have not chosen me." Oh, so like you. John 15 and 16, it says, "Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that you should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever you shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you." So like that first part, he ordained us from the beginning, the foundation of the earth, to come into this truth and bring forth fruit, for the body. So Lord willing, we can just continue in those works and know that, the Most High chose us to come into this thing. We didn't choose him, he didn't put. So it wasn't just a thought in our mind, like, oh yeah, we want to understand the truth. No, the Most High chose us up, out of our lowest state to come into this thing. So come.
All praise to the Most High, and that's the spirit. I'm gonna just get this precept at the very top. I am the true vine, and my Father is husbandman. How was y'all talking? Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away, and every branch that bears fruit, he purged it, that it may bring forth more fruit. So if you're not bearing fruit in this thing, if you're not doing the works, Yahweh is going. He's going to blow your candlestick away. He's gonna take it away. He's gonna cut you down. That's why we gotta make sure we're bearing fruit. That's why we gotta make sure we're doing the works. If we're not doing the works of the Most High Yahweh Shemashah, we're not bearing fruit, we can get cut down in this thing. The Most High Yahweh Shemashah can take his spirit away. The Most High Yahweh Shemashah can cut us down in this thing. We want to make sure we're bearing fruit so we can purge, so we can bring forth more fruit. We want to make sure we're doing the work so we can, so we can be provoked to do more works. We got to make sure we're doing the works in this thing and bearing fruit so we don't get cut down in this thing. And then I had another precept for that real quick. It was John 15 and 16 and John 15, 1 and 2. We pull John 15, 1 and 2. So I had to think. So this is Job chapter 14. And then Luke 13. Just like I think I wanted Daniel. Just like, okay, give me a second, y'all. I'm pulling these precepts up. But if anybody had a precept they want to bring out a point, no, you got it. Well, wait, I'm trying to get these other precepts up. Luke 13. Okay, and then Daniel. So we're gonna get Daniel first.
So like, yeah, I had a precept real quick.
Go ahead, you can bring it out.
This is Job. So like, yeah, this is Job 17:9. It says, the righteous also shall hold on his way, and he that hath clean hands shall be stronger and stronger. So, the Most High just put that in my spirit just because, like, Lord willing, we just continue to stay in the state of repentance and just, paying attention to, when we get corrected and repenting for those things, because when we repent and the Most High sees our ways clean, then that's when he just starts to allow us to bear more fruit. Because, man's goings are the Lord. So it's really not of us that we even bear fruit. It's the Most High's hand, that he has us put our hand to the plow, but he's not going to have us put our hand to the plow if we're going off, not repenting for certain things. So, that's all I had to say.
Says, our person Most High. That's a good point. Definitely need to make sure we're repenting in this thing daily. Day of Atonement is not the only day you should be repenting. I'm putting it out there. You need to be repenting day in, day out. It's a precept in Job. Let me find it real quick. But on the last call, I said that we should definitely ask the Most High. So like it. Definitely ask the Most High to bring to the forefront things we have not repented for. And there's a precept in Job. It says, this is Job 13:23. How many are mine iniquities and sin? Make me to know my transgression and my sin. So there's a lot of things we've done that we probably don't even remember that we've done or that we're not even aware of. So we got to ask the Most High to bring to, we got to have that spirit of Job on us, Job 13:23 spirit. Ask the Most High to bring to the forefront things we to make known of our transgressions, to make us known of our sins, so we can repent for it, to bring to the forefront, to our attention, things we have not repented for. So that's a beautiful point. So let's get Daniel 14:10-15. It's like a Daniel 4. Thus were the visions of mine head in my bed. I saw and behold a tree in the midst of the earth, and the height thereof was great. The tree grew and was strong, and the height thereof reached unto heaven, and the sight thereof to the end of all the earth. The leaves thereof were fair, and the fruit thereof much, and it was meat for all. The beasts of the field had shadow under it, and the fowls of the heaven dwelt in the boughs thereof, and all flesh was fed of it. I saw in the visions of my head upon my bed, and behold, a watcher and a holy one came down from heaven. He cried aloud and said, thus, hew down the tree and cut off his branches, shake off his leaves and scatter his fruit. Let the beasts get away from under it and the fowls from his branches. Nevertheless, leave the stump of his roots in the earth, even with the band of iron and brass, the grass of the field, and let it be wet with the dew of heaven. Let his portion be with the beasts and the grass of the earth. So we don't want Most High Yahweh Shemashah to cut down our tree, to cut off our branches. We don't want the Most High Yahweh Shemashah to take away his spirit from us and to cut us down from this truth, take all our knowledge and understanding away, and take our fruits of the spirits away. We don't want the Most High Yahweh Shemashah to do that. But he will do that if we're not doing the works. If we're not bearing fruits, if we're not being diligent, we will do that. Because the Most High Yahweh Shemashah know who's truly diligent. The Most High know who's diligent behind closed doors. You cannot escape the Most High Yahweh Shemashah. You can't kind of go in a room and close the closet door and be like, the Most High don't see me. Everything is being recorded. Yahweh Bahashem and Hashah sees everything we do. So we can try to appear as righteous to man as we want to be, but the Most High know who really doing the works. The Most High know who really sincere. The Most High knows who's doing stuff, who's doing stuff behind closed doors. The Most High know how we're occupying our time with. You can't escape the Most High. So the Most High sees if you're bearing fruit. The Most High sees if you're putting your hands to the plow and doing the works. And if you're not truly diligent in this truth, you can get cut down. Your candlestick can be blown out. Yahweh forbid, we don't want that to happen, Yahweh forbid, so we gotta stay diligent. We must stay diligent in this truth. And that's Luke 13:6. He spake also this parable: a certain man had a fig tree planted in his vineyard, and he came and sought fruit thereon and found none. So there was no fruit. Then said he unto the judge of his vineyard, behold, these 3 years I come seeking fruit on this fig tree and find none. Cut it down while cumbered at the ground. So if you're not bearing fruit, you can get cut down. If you're not, we don't want the Most High to take his spirit away from us, how forbid. So we gotta bear fruit in this thing. We gotta do the works in this thing. So I yield on that. If anybody had a precept,
I got a precept.
you can bring it out.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach, chapter 38, verse 24. And it reads, the wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure, and he that hath little business shall become wise. So leisure, I just searched it up on my computer. It means like free time, basically. So you know how we always say, occupy yourself wisely, occupying yourself in your leisure, your free time, use wisdom when you're doing that, because you don't want your candlestick to be blown out. Because when you're not occupying yourself wisely, then you're bound for spirits to hop on you. Satan see you're not reading, you're not studying, you're not fasting, you're not praying. He's gonna then then spirits gonna hop on you. He gonna then bring some stuff to you, and you're not being built up in the spirit. You're bound to fall out. So, definitely a mighty precept of the spirit. I never read that. So, use your time wisely. And it's true. So your candlestick don't be blown out.
Mighty point. You definitely gotta be mindful of your, the leisure time, basically the free time you have, like Sis Fallon just brought out. It's cool to kick your feet up and relax a bit, but you don't want to give yourself over to too much free time, because idleness teaches much evil. You don't want to have so much time on your hands where you're just being lazy. You're not doing the work. So you got to be mindful of the leisure time you have. The free time you have, it's cool to go get your feet done, go get your nails done. It's cool to sit back and watch a movie, but you don't want to do it too much, because too much of anything is not good. It's not good. You got to find that just balance in this thing. False balance and abomination to a false balance is abomination to the Lord, as Proverbs 11:1 says. So we gotta, with your leisure time, you definitely gotta make sure you're not, you don't want to have too much time on your hands where you're just not doing the works. So wisdom of a learned man coming by opportunity of leisure, because all that free time, a wise woman, all that free time she gonna be in the scripts. A wise woman, she got maybe 5 days off of work, and each day, she in the scripts. A lazy woman, that ain't wild. A lazy woman, she gonna watch TV all 5 days. She's not gonna want to read. So you got to use that wisdom the Most High Yahweh gave us with that free time you got. Get in these scripts. Get in these scripts while you can. Seek the Lord while you can, before it's too late. Seek the Lord while you can before it's too late. And then this is Job 31:4. Doth he not see my ways and count all my steps? So again, Yahweh Hashem Hashem, like how she sees everything. Yahweh Hashem Hashem see who really diligent. The Most High see who really doing the works behind closed doors. You can post precepts on the gram all day. You can post whatever you want. You can act a certain way in front of people, but the Most High really knows if that's how you is behind closed doors. If anybody don't know that, Yahweh Hashem Hashem know. This Sirach 23:19. Such a man only fears the eyes of men, and knoweth that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men and considering the most secret parts. So Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh sees every single thing, everything. We cannot escape the Most High Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh. Because I know when I was little, I used to be like, can't nobody see me? Trying to be sneaking from my parents. Well, my parents can't see me, so I'm good. The Most High seen it. The Most High seen it. The Most High definitely seen it. So the Most High sees everything. Consider the most secret parts. So the Most High know who really being diligent in this truth. And kind of like Aquila just dropped in the chat, doing the works as a woman, or works around the house and stuff. So even when you're free time, you cleaning up, maybe listening to a video, because cleaning up and cooking and attending to your husband and seeing after kids, all of that is doing the works of the Lord. Everyone a lot is different. So all of that is doing works of the Lord. So, in your free time, you just got to stay diligent in this truth, whether it's reading, whether it's studying, whether it's praying, whether it's fasting, whether it's being submissive to your husband, taking care of the household, using your hands, using your talents to provoke good works, whatever it is pertaining to the Most High, how about Shema, we got to do the works in this thing, because the Most High see who really diligent in this truth behind closed doors. We don't want to be seen as a hypocrite amongst men. So you got to do the works behind closed doors, because the Most High truly see who doing the works behind closed doors. The Most High seeing who using their leisure time wisely. The Most High see who really want this truth for real. You cannot fool the Most High, how about Shema. And if we don't want our counts to get blown out, if we don't want the Most High to take a spirit away from us or get cut down in the truth, we got to stay diligent. Because the Most High, he can do what he want to do. He can do what he want to do. The Most High owes us nothing. You got to remember that. I was reading a precept on the other day, and how was called us little ones. And that was real humbling to read that. Like, dang, we're little ones for real. Like, we're nothing. We're nobody. We're nobody. We didn't do nothing to deserve this truth. The Most High don't owe us nothing. We're only in this truth by the Most High mercy and grace. We weren't in this truth because of any righteous work we did. So the Most High owes us nothing. And once the Most High take his spirit away, there's no coming back. Once you fall back in the world, ain't no coming back. Once the Most High give you over to those strange doctrines, seducing spirits, and give you over to that stuff, you can't come back. Thus saith the Lord. So we got to stay diligent in this thing. If anybody had a precept, you got it. The water sis. So Job 33, 12, 13. So this is Job 33, 12, 13. Behold, and this thou art not just, I will answer thee that Yahweh is greater than men. Why dost thou strive against him? For he giveth not account of any of his matters. So the Most High, Yahweh Shema, don't owe us nothing. Like, I accidentally muted myself. He don't gotta tell us nothing. He don't gotta show us nothing. He don't have to do nothing. He don't owe us nothing. As much as we hurt the Most High, Yahweh Shema, as much as we've transgressed, the Most High don't owe us a dang thing. That's why we gotta be as humble as possible. Because we can get irritated with ourselves. We keep falling the same. We keep falling to the same. We keep messing up. We keep just falling, and we get irritated with ourselves. But it's all praise to the Most High. He's even showing us how we can be better. It's all praise to the Most High. He's even showing us how we can be a better servant and prisoner of him. It's all praise. He even showing us how we can be a better woman. He don't got to do that. We got to be as thankful and as humble as possible. We do not deserve this truth. The Most High don't got to do none of the stuff he does. He didn't have to bless us with sisterhood. He didn't have to bring us to this truth to come back to him, to understand we have a Sabbath day, to bring us back to our holy days, to allow us to understand the role of a woman. He didn't have to do none of that. He didn't have to put the spirit in us to know we got to dress modest. He didn't have to do nothing. So we got to go hard in this thing. Why would we not? Why would we not? You got to go hard in this truth. We got to do the works. Anybody had a precept or anything they want to bring out? This is the book of Job 8 and 19. Behold, this is the way of his joy. This is the joy of his way, and out of the earth shall others grow. Oh, did you want to break that down, Bridget? Because I don't know what that means. I'm not gonna cap. I do not know what that means.
Can you hear me?
Con,
what I was getting at with that was that basically, like we just said, the Most High owes us nothing. So he could take us at this truth and put someone in our spot that wants it 10 times more. Like someone that's going to strive harder, read more, fast more, someone that's using their idle time to be in this word more than what you are doing. So you slacking off, it's it's the joy of his way to take you out this truth and put someone in there that wants to be, strive for the kingdom 1,000 times more than you, basically. So he doesn't have to wait on you to get better. He does not need you in this truth. We need him. So that's what I was getting at with that one. And I yield.
That's a beautiful precept. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. That's a beautiful precept. Most High can easily, give our spot to a sister that's willing to do the work. She wants to read. She gonna read more. She wants to study. She gonna study more than us. She wants to fast. She gonna fast more than us. They really want the kingdom. Most High don't gotta do nothing. He don't owe us nothing. If he want to sift us out, he can do that. We don't deserve this truth. If the Most High wants to give us a reprobate mind, he can do that. Fine. So I will get let me get this real quick. Job 19. Five and 9. If indeed you will magnify yourselves against me and plead against me my reproach, know now that Yahweh have overthrown me and have compassed me with his net. We know that, Job a lot was a bit different. Job, the Most High Job was going through it. But the Most High can overthrow us. The Most High can overthrow us. Behold, I cry out of wrong, but I am not heard. I cry aloud, but there's no judgment. He hath fenced up my way that I cannot pass, and he hath set darkness in my paths. He hath stripped me of my glory and taken the crown from my head. So the Most High Yahweh Shemashah can set darkness in our path if we're not staying diligent. If we're not staying diligent and occupied in these scripts, if we're not staying diligent and doing the works of a woman, we're not staying diligent and doing what the Most High Yahweh Shemashah has called us to do, truly doing the works of sincerity, the Most High can set darkness in our path. He can put all these wicked nasty spirits on us and give us back to the world. He can literally put darkness in our path. Now, we're not worried about reading and studying. Now we're worried about when the next concert gonna be. Now we're Googling up Pornhub. It's literally darkness in our path. There's no more light. It's took away. Our glory is stripped. The crown of our head is stripped. We're not worried about how we can get the kingdom no more. It's literally darkness in our path. We're worried about when the next concert gonna be. We're worried about when the new J is gonna come out. We're worried about all these things that does not pertain to the Most High Shemashah and getting the kingdom, because the Most High has set darkness in our path. Why? Because we weren't diligent, because we weren't doing the works, because we weren't bearing any fruit. And he took his glory from us. He took our glory, took our crown from our head. He just set darkness in our path. Now our mind is no longer focused on the Most High Shemashah. Our mind is focused on things of this world. And we do not want that Yahweh forbid. So we must stay diligent in this truth. I yield a knife. If anybody had a precept. So this is Numbers 20, chapter 23, verse 26. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in Mount Horeb by the coast of the land of Edom, saying, Aaron shall be gathered unto his people, for he shall not enter into the land which I have given thee, which I have given unto the children of Israel, because ye rebelled against my word at the water of Meribah. So the Most High was saying, plant upon tables, and he entered into this promised land because he rebelled. Take Aaron and Eleazar his son and bring them up into Mount Horeb, and strip Aaron of his garments and put them upon Eleazar his son, and Aaron shall be gathered to his people and shall die there. So the Most High Yahweh Shemashah stripped Aaron of his garments and gave it to his son. So this is another precept. Lamenbach of Briasia said that the Most High can put another sister in your spot that really wants this thing, that's going to study, that's going to read, that's going to do the works. He can easily move you and give it to another sister, just like he stripped Aaron of his garments and gave it to his son, because he knew his son was going to do something. His son was going to be diligent. So we don't want the Most High to strip us of our spiritual garments. Strip us from this knowledge of understanding. strip us from wanting to do the work, strip us from all the spiritual gifts and talents he's given us, so strip us from his spirit. We don't want the Most High to strip of us our spiritual garments, take his spirit away, take the fruits. We don't want the Most High to do that. So we got to stay diligent in this thing. And if we're not staying diligent, we can get our garments stripped, just like he stripped Aaron's garments. He can remove his spirit, just like he removed his spirit off Samson, because Samson said, I'll do it tomorrow. He can take away our glory. He can take away his crown from our head. You know, he can set darkness on our path. He can do all these things. These are accounts in the Bible that your Most High Yahweh Shemashah did. How much more us? We are nobody. We did nothing to deserve this truth. If the Most High did Aaron like that, if the Most High did Job like that, if the Most High did Samson like that, how much more us? The Most High can do us like that. So we got to stay diligent in this truth. We got to stay diligent, or our candlestick can get blown out, or we can be stripped from our spiritual garments, or there's going to be darkness set in our paths, and our mind is no longer going to be focused on the Most High. It's going to be focused on folly. I yield. If anybody had a point or precept they wanted to bring out. Well, I'm back. So, let me get this. So, I'm gonna get Ecclesiastes 9 and 10, and I'm gonna get 12. Whatsoever thy hand finds to do, do it thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. So we gotta serve the Most High Yahweh Shemashah with all thy might. Then we gotta do it with all. We gotta do it heartily. We gotta do it with all thy might. You know, for man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in the evil net, and as the birds that are caught up in this, that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of man snared in the evil time when it falleth suddenly upon them. So people have said falleth suddenly upon them, meaning if the Most High want to sift us out, we ain't even gonna know. We're not gonna know. It's just gonna suddenly fall upon us. It's gonna suddenly just hit us. We never know when the Most High can sift us out. That's why we gotta stay diligent in this truth. We gotta stay diligent in this truth. We never know when the Most High can strip us from our spiritual garments. We never know when the Most High can cut us down in this thing. We never know when the Most High can take his spirit away from us. So we gotta stay diligent in this truth. We gotta stay diligent. There's no excuses. Absolutely none. I get on that. It wasn't Sirach, it was Ecclesiastes 9 and 10, and then verse 12. Let me, I'm gonna get, okay, just I'm gonna get Sirach 14. And 20. Then I'm gonna get Isaiah 10 and 21 to 22. So like, yeah, I'm just trying to pull up all these precepts. 2 Ezra 8:4. Okay. And then Jeremiah 6:30. So I'm gonna get this quick. I'm gonna get this one first. So this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, Sirach 14:20. Blessed is the man that doth meditate good things and wisdom and the reason of holy things by his understanding. So we got to be meditating in his wisdom and understanding, this knowledge and understanding every single day. We got to meditate upon these precepts every single day. We got to do the works every single day. Again, I'm gonna keep saying it. You don't get to pick and choose which days you want to serve the Lord. You don't get to pick and choose which days you want to read, which days you want to study, and which days you want to pray. You're either going to truly serve the Lord 144% and be in this thing fully, you're going to really serve the Lord, or get your candlestick blown out. Thus saith the Lord. So we're not doing the works, if we're not repenting, if we're not being sincere, if we're not bearing any fruit, if we're not increasing, we can get our candlestick blown out. Our tree can get cut down. We don't want that. We don't want the Most High to take his spirit away from us. And it's Isaiah 10:21 and verse 22. The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty God. For though thy people Israel is the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decree shall overflow with righteousness. So this is going to basically how only a remnant of Israel are going to be saved. And remnant is just a small amount remaining. So only a few of Israel are going to be saved. We know that there's going to be a 1/3 and a 2/3. And Lord willing, we're not trying to be a part of the 2/3. Lord willing, we're trying to be a part of 1/3. So that's why we're striving each day, to get the kingdom. That's why we're striving each day to make sure the calling of our election is sure. That's why we're striving each day to kill that old woman we used to be. That's why we're working on our own salvation with trembling and fear. Because we don't know if we're going to be a part of the 1/3, and we don't know if we're going to be a part of 2/3. But only a remnant of Israel is going to be saved. Only a few of somebody got to be 2/3, and we don't want to be a part of that number if it's in the Lord's will. So we're striving, to be as blameless as possible in the eyes of the Lord. We're striving to get that kingdom. We're striving to be a part of 1/3. We're striving to make sure the calling of our election is sure. So we got to continue to stay diligent. We got to stay diligent. So Lord willing, we're not a part of that number if it's in the Lord's will, because the Lord can do what he want to do and everything's already preordained. Only a remnant of Israel is going to be saved. The Lord is not dealing with the whole entire nation of Israel. In Jeremiah 6:30, let me just get that real quick. Reprobate silver shall men call them, because the Lord have rejected them. So the Lord is going to start rejecting a lot of Israel soon. That's why we got to seek the Lord before it's too late. Seek the Lord while he can be found. Do the works while we can do them. Because when all hell break loose, it's going to be too late. That's why we got to do the works now. We can't boast ourselves tomorrow, like for real. We can't say, I'm going to just do it tomorrow. I don't feel like fasting this week. I'm going to fast next week. Who said our hell ain't going to break loose next week? If you have the ability to do the works now, then do the works now. Don't just say, I'm going to do it tomorrow, because the Lord didn't have to bless you with this truth. He didn't even have to bless you with another day to see this truth. This could be our last day of truth. We don't know anything. We don't deserve this truth, so we got to stay diligent. The Lord is not dealing with the entire nation of Israel, but the fact that he's dealing with us, the fact that he called us into this truth, the fact that he gave us his spirit, he could easily take that away. The Lord finna start rejecting a lot of people real soon. So we got to seek the Lord right now while we can, because when all hell break loose, it's going to be too late. Once the Most High take his spirit from you, it's too late. Once the Most High sift you out, there's no coming back. Once the Most High give you to those strange doctrines, it's no coming back. So do the works now. Do the work now. There's no, if you're fighting a procrastination demon, if you're fighting a demon that keeps telling you, just read later. If you're fighting a demon that's telling you, just read tomorrow. You need to pray and fast. Get that demon off you, and get that dang slothful demon off you, and do the work of the Lord. Or get your candlestick blew out. Do the work of the Most High. How about your Shah? If you got a slothful demon on you, get it off. Through the promise of the Most High, pray and fast to the Lord, and Lord willing that he remove that demon. Fight that demon and do the work of the Most High. How about your Shah? This is Matthew chapter 21 and 19. And when he saw a fig tree in the way, he came it and found nothing thereon beliefs. Only said unto it, let no fruit go on thee henceforth, let no fruit grow on thee henceforth forever. And presently the fig tree withered away. And when the disciples saw it, they marveled, saying, how soon is the fig tree withered away? And how shall I answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, if ye have faith and doubt not, ye shall not only do this which is done to the fig tree, but also if ye shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed and be thou cast to the sea, it shall be done. So we got to bear fruit in this thing. If Bridge, if you had another breakdown on that, because you know, I don't think I can really go in depth breaking it down. Okay.
It's like, yeah, I always be sending you stuff on each other. I'm sorry. So like, but basically what I put that for was, you know, to say you never know when your Howard Shaka come and he see you and you sitting on the couch, you using your idle time sitting on the couch and you doing some folly and madness, worrying about a party and something, and he just let you wither away. He give you over into that world. He give you over into that idleness. He give you over into that reprobate mind. You never know. And so therefore you just got sifted out and you didn't even know it, because you never know. Like, you never know the time. We don't know the time of anything. We don't know anything, and we don't have to be, you know, he don't have to let us know nothing. He don't have to say, hey, I'm on my way back, you need to get your stuff together. No, you need to be on it all the time, 24/7. Like Kim said, yeah, it's cool to sit back and relax, but you got idle time. Be a woman in this truth, and you know, make sure you on top of everything. Make sure you reading and fasting, like we've been saying. Make sure you doing this and that, and that you got all your ducks in a row. It's not like we're never doing enough, but make sure you did something. So, and you just sitting back and being a reprobate. Make sure you got something going on in this truth, and that you occupied in this truth. Like anytime, make sure you have something going on, because you could be just withered away. You never know what's gonna happen. You never know. When you sitting back and some ad, you know, them Pornhub ads that be popping up, and you click on that, you right back into the world. Just like that. You never know. And I yield on that one.
And that also goes, beautiful breakdown. Beautiful breakdown. That also goes into the Most High setting darkness in your path. Now you on Pornhub and you ain't even focused on the Lord no more. He done set darkness in your path because you ain't using you're not using your leisure time wisely. You on your phone scrolling on Instagram. You ain't read. You don't know the last time you prayed. You ain't fasted none this week, and you on Instagram trying to post the next selfie that you just took the other day. Lord ain't dealing with that. The Lord know who really doing the works behind closed doors. You want to be on Instagram all day, scrolling on TikTok all day, but ain't read not one chapter, ain't prayed not one time to the Lord. You ain't even did a breakdown, and God knows how long. You ain't doing no type of work. You ain't bearing no type of fruit. And the Most High done set darkness in your path, and it then suddenly fell upon you, and you ain't even know it. The Most High done took your spirit away from you, and then no coming back. And now you're giving over to those strange things. And now you're giving over to those wicked, nasty, evil spirits because you weren't diligent doing the works. The Most High owes us nothing. Yes, the Most High is long-suffering, merciful, very compassionate, but the Most High owes us nothing. But the Most High want to take his candlestick, if we want to remove our candlestick, take his spirit away from us, he can do that. And this is 1 Timothy 4:1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. So the Most High is giving people over to seducing spirits, strange doctrines of devils. And that's how you know we're in the last days. Because you got some people depart from the faith, giving over to these seducing spirits, nasty, wicked spirits, and these doctrines of devils. Doctrines doesn't even make no type of sense. And the Most High can do that to any one of us. That's how you know we're in the last days. You know, and we don't want that to happen, so we got to stay diligent in this truth. We got to continue to seek the Lord before it's too late, because we don't know when all hell could break loose. All hell could break loose at any given moment. And when all hell breaks loose, it's too late. It's too late. It's gonna be a famine in the word, and a famine on land. Amos 8:11, I believe, is going to be a famine in the word. It's not going to be no more brothers on the highways and byways trying to tell you to get back to the Lord. It's not going to be any more breakdowns, no more WFI videos, no more believers of the way, no more breakdowns, no more videos, no more going into prophecy, no more Bible study, no more none of that. It's going to be too late. All hell going to be breaking loose. So we got to do the works now before it's too late. Seek the Lord now before it's too late. Be diligent or get our candlestick blew out. Because we're in the last days and we don't want to depart from the faith. But the Most High is gonna have some of Israel depart from the faith and giving over to these nasty spiritual demons, giving over to these doctrines of devils. We got to stay diligent, because again, the Most High know who really doing the work behind closed doors. So this is Matthew chapter 24, verse 50. The Lord of that servant shall come in a day. Let me start at verse 48. But, and if that evil servant shall say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming, and it shall begin to smite his fellow servants and to eat and drink with the drunken, the Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him in an hour that he is not aware of, and shall cut him asunder and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So like, let me write this down real quick. So this is going, so Matthew 24 going into prophecy. It's a prophecy chapter. So the way I took these precepts in was verse 48. You know, the evil servant is saying, well, don't look like Yahushua is coming. Don't look like Yahushua is coming back. And it says, and shall begin to smite his fellow servants to eat and drink with the drunken. So you can be in this truth for about 7 years. And that's 7 years is a long time to be in this truth. Watching prophecy pass, fulfill. The evil servants start to wonder, well, when is Yahushua coming? Y'all been saying Yahushua coming for the past 7 years and he came back yet. And shall begin to smite his fellow servants to eat and drink with the drunken. So now this evil servant back in the world. The Most High Yahweh Shemashah didn't give him over back to these evil doctors. He didn't give him over back to the things of the world because he lost the faith, because he wasn't staying diligent. He was saying, well, the Lord ain't coming back. He ain't came back yet. So now he back, fighting with his brethren in the world. And now he back eating and drinking with the drinking, back in the world. The Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of, and shall cut him asunder and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So now Yahushua came back, and the servant had no clue. Yahushua came back when he wasn't even aware, and shall cut him asunder. He done cut him down. So the most Yahushua came back and then cut him asunder. He didn't cut him apart. He didn't appoint him with his portion with the hypocrites. That should be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So now, death and destruction. He didn't got his judgment. All because he stopped being diligent. He stopped having faith in the Lord. He said, well, Yahushua not coming no more. So now he started back doing things of the world. And this is verse 46. Blessed is the servant whom his Lord when he cometh shall find so doing. Verily I say unto you that he shall make him ruler over all his goods. But and if that evil servant shall say in his heart, my Lord, the left is coming. So blessed is a servant that's doing the works. Blessed is a servant, Yahweh Shemashah, see that's growing, that's bearing fruit, that's growing and increasing the truth, that's truly doing the works. Blessed is that servant. Brianna dropped in the chat, feeding our spirits, our life lived. Khan says, I pull Ecclesiastes 9:12, all praise, that's the spirit. Feeding our spirits, our life literally depends on it because the Most High be pleased about us to take care of your spirit. Khan, sis, why do you were repenting for drinking wine, or did you get drunk? I'm confused. So what you repenting for? So it's not off to drink wine. It's lawful to drink wine. Con, it's off to get drunk. Con, our praises. But blessed is a servant when Yahushua come and they doing the works, they being diligent in this thing. Definitely drink in moderation. So this is 2 Ezra 8:4. So answered I and said, swallow them down, O my soul, understand and devour wisdom. So we got to be devouring this wisdom. We got to be eating this wisdom up while we can. We got to be eating this wisdom up while we can. Because again, when all hell breaks loose, it's going to be too late. It's going to be too late. There's no, once the Most High take your spirit from you, ain't no coming back. Once the Most High give you to those strange doctrines, there's no coming back. Once he give you to those evil, nasty spirits, there's no coming back. Once he cut you down or remove your fruit, there is no coming back. And the Most High can do that because he can do what he want to do. So we got to stay diligent in this truth. We have no clue who's going to make it. We don't know who's the part of the elect. We don't know who's going to be 1/3 and 2/3. Lord willing, we're not a part of that 2/3 number, but we got to stay diligent and continue to make the calling of our election sure. But basically, you know, we want to be that good servant. When Yahweh Shah come back, he see us being diligent. Like Breasia brought out, Yahweh Shah come back, you angels looking down recording, you ain't doing nothing. You ain't doing nothing. You sitting on the couch scrolling on Pornhub. You sitting on the couch doing some type of wicked stuff. You scrolling on the couch, you trying to see when the next shoe's gonna come out, when the next party is, who's selling the best weed. You texting folks on Snapchat talking about you got a plug, you got to add it to the party. So we gotta stay diligent in this thing before the Most High give us over to these strange, wicked, nasty doctrines, these nasty spirits. And we don't want that to happen. We do not want that to happen. Because once the Most High take his spirit away, thus saith the Lord, ain't no coming back. There's no such thing as falling out the truth and come back in the truth, and fall out the truth and come back in the truth, and fall out the truth and come back in the truth. Once you fall out the truth, and you start back going to the world, again, it's raps. Did anybody have a precept or anything they want to bring out? Let me get this precept. And don't be the sister that be like, well, I've been in the truth 3 years, you know, and I've been in the truth for a minute. I done read the whole Bible. I done watched all the WFI videos, and I've been fasting all my life. So I'm just gonna chill till Yahweh shall return. I'm just gonna chill. I've did everything that I could do. Says who? Sirach 43:30. When ye glorify the Lord, exalt him as much as you can, for even yet will he far exceed. And when you exalt him, put forth all your strength. Be not weary, for ye can never go far enough. You are never doing enough. You can never go far enough. You can always do more. I can do more. I can go harder. You can go harder. You can do more. We're never doing enough. Don't say, I've been in the truth for 6 years. I read the Bible 7 times. I'm waiting for Yahweh Shah, so this is my chill break. I'm gonna just sit on the couch, drink wine every day, take my retirement period. I'm gonna retire from my job. I'm gonna kick my feet up and wait till Yahweh Shah return. I'm gonna just sit here and watch the prophecy unfold. The Most High gonna take his spirit from you. You're gonna be looking confounded. You're gonna be looking confounded because you thought you did enough. We can never do enough. We can always go harder. We can always do more. No matter how long you've been in this truth, keep doing the works. Keep staying diligent until Yahweh shall return. Even still when our hair break loose, still keep the faith. Still call upon the name of the Lord. It ain't gonna never stop. And when we get in the kingdom, we still gonna be calling upon the name of the Lord. We still gonna be rejoicing. So this never stops. This is our life. This is our life now. Yahweh Shema Shah is our life now.
Con, can I say something real fast?
Con, sis, of course, go ahead.
Jumping off what you just said. You can be in the truth for 30 years and you don't read that Bible cover to cover, and it's still a breakdown that you don't know right now. You miss that breakdown all the time you don't read that Bible. This time you think you could just sit back. Those spirits are never gonna be like, oh, she been in the truth for 30 years. She been doing this good. She gonna take this year off and we're not gonna get her. No, those spirits are always at work, always willing to hop on you, sift you out this thing. It's never a break time, a timeout. Those spirits don't care about what you got going on. They're just trying to get you out this truth. They're not worried about, oh, she been on a roll, she been on fire these whole 3 years. She been on 3 years straight. The Most High, these spirits don't care. And the Most High not worried about, oh, she been on 3 years, whole thing. No, he not worried about that. He wants you to continue to push harder because we are never enough. We are dust and ashes. We can never amount to what he has going on, ever. Like we can't even touch that loft. We can't get up there to his level. We are never going to be able to just sit back and relax and think, oh yeah, I read this. This is enough. I read the Bible 30,000 times cover to cover. No, you missed something. We have, our minds are not open to get all that understanding that the Most High has. We can never receive all that wisdom that he has to offer just in this little amount of time. Just because you read that Bible cover to cover, page to page, the Apocrypha, this so many breakdowns, you probably still, it's just 2 or 3 things that you may have missed. You don't know these dates and about this person and about who that was and where they came from and what tribe they were from. We never know what we have missed, so we're never doing enough, and it's never enough, ever. And I want to yield on that.
I'm trying to tell you, like I told y'all at the beginning of the call, that Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8 and 9 precept, that's the second precept I pulled. I said, I was reading Ephesians and this precept stood out. You could just reread a book and it's a precept that you missed, like I did. I was like, dang, I didn't think that precept like that. You can read the book of Matthew 5 times, that 6th time you read it, it's a precept that you really don't understand. It's a precept that stood out. Now you need a breakdown on it. You could always gain more knowledge and understanding in the scriptures. That's always something else to learn. We can always go harder. So don't say I've done enough. Don't say I've been in the truth long enough and I don't got to do the works anymore. You got to keep doing the works. We can always do more. We can always increase. Every single one of us should be increasing in the truth, Most High willing. We should not be the same. We should not, I ain't gonna say that anymore. I'm not gonna say that because Most High got all of us. We're one, but we all should be increasing in this truth. We should all be increasing in this truth. I'm gonna get okay, I'm gonna get these precepts. Okay. Let me get Sirach. Let me get 1 Corinthians 15. Let me get 2 Corinthians 2:11. Let me get no farther. Let me get this 2 Corinthians 2:15. So I'm gonna start at 1 Corinthians 15. No, I'm gonna start at Sirach 7:15. Hate not laborers' work, neither husbandry, which the Most High hath ordained. So don't hate doing the work of the Lord. We should want to do the works of the Most High Yahweh Shema Shah. And that comes with serving the Most High in sincerity and in truth. Find our sincerity, not just reading and studying because we feel like we got to. You ain't doing other things. But reading and studying because you sincerely, truly want to. You truly want to serve the Lord. You want to increase in the truth. You want to do better. You want to be a better servant of the Most High Yahweh Shema Shah. You want to do the works. So don't hate labor's work. You got to love doing the works. You got to do the works. You got to clean the household, take care of that. We got to do these things, do these things as a woman. We got to fulfill our role in this truth. We can't hate doing that. We got to love to do that. We got to learn to call upon the name of the Lord. We got to love to do the works. We got to love these things. And I'm going to get Luke 9:62, one of my favorite precepts. And it reads, and Yahweh Shah said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of Yahweh. So putting your hands to the plow, doing the work. None of us that put our hands to the plow and look back are not fit for the kingdom of the Most High. Here you are, you coming to this truth. You're doing the works. You're a diligent sister. You make garments. You using your talents for good works. You reading, you studying, you pray. You're a diligent sister through the powers of the Most High. But you looking back. You're not fit for the kingdom. You can't be in this truth and looking back in the world. You can't be in this truth, man. Dang, I missed them parties. You can't do that. You can't be in this truth and you having a peek back at the world. You breaking a Shabbat on the low. You going out to the parties and you're tapping back in the world. You can't do that. You got to put your hands to the plow and be really in this thing. You can't be half in and half out. You can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Kind of like Lot's wife. You got that spirit of Lot's wife on you. You can't be looking back into the world. It's a blessing that the Most High brought into this truth. You don't want the Most High to strip his spirit from you, remove his spirit from you, strip you from your glory, take our crown from our head, set darkness in our path, and now we're spiritually dead again. Now we're spiritually drunk again. Now we're drunk off the wickedness of this world all over again because we were not diligent. None of us put our hands to the plow, coming to the truth, doing the works, and looking back is fit for the kingdom of Yahweh. Looking back, meaning you back in the world. You tapping back into the world. You talking about you missed the world. That's a slap in the face to the Most High Yahweh Shah to bring us into this truth and put His Spirit on us, and we're not doing the works. We're talking about we missed the world, we missed the parties. That's wicked. That's wicked. That is wicked. That's a slap in the face to the Most High. So nobody doing the works, and then you tapping back in the world. You looking back is fit for the kingdom of the Most High Yahweh Shah. So once you come into this truth, you're either gonna fully be in this truth, or you're gonna get your candlestick blown out. You gotta do the work of the Most High Yahweh Shah. You gotta do the works. You got it, Aquila.
Con, the water, all praise to the Most High. So I just wanted to bring out, because of what Abiria was saying, like, you know, we can't be half in and half out. And then this is just a precept, Revelation 3:15. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot, and I would that thou wert cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. And so in the second part of the 15th verse, it says, I would that you were cold or hot. So Yahushua is saying, I would rather you either be out this truth or in this truth, you know, than be lukewarm, like half in, half out. And, you know, like like, you know, what Abiria was saying, you just can't be half in and half out. And then earlier, the sister was going into, you know, like increasing in this thing, like we should all be increasing in this truth. And there's many ways that we can increase, whether that's you're cleaning more, and before it was like you couldn't really get a handle on how you clean, or how to make the schedule for the day, or you're reverencing to your husband more, or like, you know, whatever it is. Like there's many things to increase in. It's not always, oh, now I got all the breakdowns for each chapter in First Corinthians, you know, because as women, you know, depending on what your lot is, we have a lot of things to do, you know, and like Abiria was saying earlier, like cooking, cleaning, make sure the kids are well, reverencing to your husband, make sure your husband's good, whether you have dogs or animals, make sure those are good, because, or even if you're in school, make sure you're doing what you got to do, especially like if you're under your parents' roof, because that's still the labor the Lord ordained for you, you know. So this is First Corinthians chapter 3 and I'll start at verse 6. I have planted, Apollos watered, but the Most High gave the increase. So then neither is he that planted anything, neither he that watered, but Yahweh Yahushai that gave it the increase. So the Most High gives the increase. And you know, but we also have to realize sometimes we're like, dang, I keep falling, I keep battling with this demon, you know, but like as long as you're doing your part and, you know, fasting, I'm still out here for the background if you can hear my dogs, but whether you're fasting, you're trying to rebuke this demon, you're praying on it, but if it's not your time for that demon to come off of you, that's because the Lord's that's just the state of the Lord, because everything's ordained by the Most High. And also, you know, the Most High has each and every one of us exactly where he wants us. Because one thing, I was talking to Abiria a while back. I don't know, this is probably roughly paraphrasing what she was saying, but it's like we're on level 1.5, and we want to be on level 2, and we're trying to be on level 2, but the Lord's like, I never told you to be there. Like, I never told you to do that type of thing. So it's like we have to just trust that the Most High has us where we are, and that just comes by trusting and having faith in the Lord as well. So, you know, if you feel like, dang, I really want to be remembering precepts and stuff, and you're doing the works, you're trying to study and like go over the same precepts you've been, you know, those works are not for naught, because maybe right now you're not too good, or like, for example, maybe right now I can't remember each precept I read over. But Lord willing, when Jacob's trouble hits, you know, the Most High can put that spirit on us to literally remember a chapter verse by verse. So like the works that you're doing is not for naught, and, you know, increase to the Most High.
Mighty sister. Beautiful points. That's factual. You know, that's a beautiful point. The water for bringing it out. Like, You know, you could be doing the works. You know, the Most High see you trying, and you truly want to increase, but only the Most High gets the increase. You know, everybody's lot is different. You know, some of us are in school, hashtag over it, but some of us are enrolled in college. Some of us, sadly, some of us are still in high school, about to graduate, Lord willing. Some of us, it don't even ain't in school. All of our lots are different, but we still got to do the works. We still got to make that time for the Most High. The Most High still got to come first. We still got to do the works. And like the sister said, doing the works of the Lord as women is also cooking. It's also cleaning. It's taking care of the household, being submissive to your husband, reverencing your husband, staying after the children, using your talents to provoke good works, sowing. You know, all of that is doing the works of the Lord. But either way, you gotta do the works. And you gotta find a just balance. Now, don't sit here and say, well, I done sold all day, but you still ain't read nothing, sis. You haven't read anything. You still gotta find a just balance. You gotta find a just balance. You still gotta read, you still gotta pray, you still gotta study and fast. Don't say, well, I done sold all day, you know, but I ain't listened to no video. I was listening to Dirk while I was sewing. What the what? You know, you gotta find a just balance. You know, so doing, you know, working with your hands stuff is still doing the works of the Lord, but either way, you still got to do the work. You know, you can listen to a video while sewing, but you got to find a just balance. You don't want to spend the whole day, you know, sewing, or spend the whole entire day cleaning, and you ain't read nothing. You know, listen to a video while you're cooking or something, listen to a video while you're reading, or get your reading in early in the morning, but you still got to find that time to get your reading in. You don't want to go numerous days without reading. And then your excuse is, well, I was sewing and stuff. Well, you could have read early in the morning, or you could have listened to a video, or let Esau read to you while you was doing what you was doing. But you still got to find that time, that alone time with the Most High. You still got to find that time to read with the Most High. You still got to find that time to give to the Lord. So that was a beautiful point. And I want us to get 1 Corinthians 15:9. Now let me get this. Okay, say that the least you could do is wake up and read one chapter. Wake up to pray, something, you know. Study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. So we got to study to show ourselves approved. And that also goes into like it's a precept, the righteous is ready to give answer. You know, you're being diligent, you're doing the works. Somebody asks you a question, hey, you own it. You're able to answer that sister question. And I'm not saying we should know everything, because we got to be humble. You know, if you don't know it, you know, lay your hand over your mouth. And that's Sirach 5:12, I believe. But we should all be studying ourselves approved, so we're able to rightly divide the word of truth. So we're able to help another sister, you know, with a breakdown that she may need. So we're able to give this sister counsel. You know, so we're able to increase in this thing, Most High willing. But we need to be studying ourselves approved unto Yahweh, first and foremost, working on our own salvation with trembling and fear, putting the Most High Yahweh Shemashah first before anything else. So kind of wants to let me find out. Some Proverbs. What? That's not what I want. No. Proverbs 15:28. The heart of the righteous studieth to answer, but the mouth of the wicked poureth out everything. So we got to be studying to answer in this thing. You know, we got to be studying ourselves approved and increasing this truth, being diligent in this truth, so we're able to help the next sister out if she needs counsel, if she may need a breakdown on something, if she may have a question. And I'm not saying you need to know every single breakdown, you need to know every single thing in the Bible, but you should know something. You should know something, you know, something, you know. So you know, we just got to make sure we're being diligent in this thing, just studying ourselves approved, make sure we're in these scripts and reading and studying and praying and fasting. And then I wanted to get 1 Corinthians, I don't know why that's 1 Corinthians 15 and verse 9. For I am the least of the apostles, that I'm not meet to be called apostle, because I persecuted the church of Yahweh. But by the grace of Yahweh I am what I am. His grace was bestowed upon me was not in vain, but I labored more abundantly than they all, yet not I, but the grace of Yahweh which was with me. So we got to be like Paul, labor more abundantly. We got to remember that the only reason we're in this truth is the Most High Yahweh Shemashah, mercy and grace. Because Paul is saying, hey, I'm the least. I don't even deserve to be called an apostle, because I persecuted the church of Yahweh. I don't deserve to be called an apostle. I'm the least of the apostles. But by the grace and mercy of Yahweh, I am what I am. By the grace and mercy of the Most High Yahweh Shemashah, which was bestowed upon me, which the grace the Most High has given me, I am in this truth. only by the grace and mercy of the Most High Yahweh Shema Shah. So because of that, because I don't deserve to be in the truth, because I don't deserve to be called an apostle, but by the Most High mercy and grace I'm gonna labor more abundantly. I'm gonna labor more abundantly because of the grace and mercy of the Most High Yahweh Shema Shah. So we gotta have that spirit of calling us, labor more abundantly, seeing how we can increase, seeing how we can go harder, see how we can be a better servant of the Most High Yahweh Shema Shah. 2 Corinthians 13:5, self-examining, seeing how we can sharpen up this area, being honest with yourself, knowing I slack in this area. Like me, I know like a few weeks ago, not too long ago, I was struggling with my mouth a lot. So now I got to self-examine and see, dang, how can I be more blameless in the eyes of Yahweh Shema Shah? How can I not slip over my tongue so much? How can I, be more, just make sure the words that I come out of my mouth are righteous, nothing for the perverse. That's Proverbs 8:8, I believe. How can I, be more gentle with my king? How can I speak more gentle and soft? How can I do? We got to self-examine and see how we can be more blameless in the eyes of Yahweh Shema Shah. See how we can go harder. See how we can be a better woman of the Lord, a better daughter of Zion. So come, we don't deserve this truth. We got to labor more abundantly. How can I use my talents to provoke labor more abundantly? And yes, only the Most High gives increase. Only the Most High, but we still got to do our part and self-examine and see how can I increase? How can I be a better servant of the Lord? And then skipping down to verse 58, therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always about the work of the Lord, for as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. So we always got to be steadfast, always abounding in the work of the Lord and being unmovable. We always got to be abounding in the work of the Lord, doing the works of the Most High, Yahweh B'Hashem Hashem like Shah. You don't get a day off of this truth. You don't get to decide what days you want to study, what days you want to read, what days you don't get to do that. You're either going to be in this truth or you're not. And just let me back off what Aquila said. I've never read that precept, Revelations 3:16 like that, when it said, I would rather have you, what'd you say, Aquila? I'd rather Yahweh Shah saying, I'd rather you be in the truth, out the truth, rather than being half in.
Con.
I never really read that precept like that. So that's all praise to the Most High. So you're either gonna be in this truth or out this truth. Ain't no one fit in. You don't get to serve the devil and serve the Most High about Shema Shah. You don't get to be in the world and be in the truth. Because we know that being in the world is enmity of Yahweh. You're enemy of Yahweh. So you don't get to just be in this truth half in, half out. You're either in this thing for real, you truly going hard for the Lord, or you're not. And you don't want your candlestick to be blown out. The Most High can cut you down. He can cut you down out this truth. He can take your spirit away. And once you do that, it's too late. Once you do that, it's too late. And then I wanted to get 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us if we are not in his devices. So you don't want to be that sister. You don't want to be that sister that's how do I want to say this? You don't want to be simple in this truth. You don't want to be simple in this truth. No, you're not studying how you should. You're not studying how you should. You're not praying and reading fasting how you should. You're not being diligent how you should. You're just ignorant of Satan's devices. You keep letting Satan attack you in the same area because you're not doing what you got to do to fight, gird up your loins. Right, you either red or blue, ain't no purple. You can't make it con. But you don't want to be that sister that you're not, because the Most High Yahweh Shema Shah said to wear the whole armor of him. The Most High said to put on the whole armor so we're able to withstand the wiles of the devil. We gotta have on the whole spiritual armor so we're able to be, how I like to say, equipped in the battlefield, battling these spiritual demons. The spiritual demons, Satan, his puppet masters. We gotta be spiritually equipped and ready to go in that spiritual battlefield with these demons, right? And the only way we can do that is being diligent in this truth, doing what we gotta do to gird up our loins and to fight these demons. The only way we can cut up these demons is with this sword. But if we're not being diligent and wearing the whole armor of the Most High, if we're not being diligent with this sword, how are we able to withstand the wiles of the devil? How are we able to go in this spiritual battlefield with these demons if we're not doing what we gotta do? So we can't be simple in this truth. We can't be that sister that you ain't doing what you gotta do. You're not being diligent and you're ignorant of Satan's devices. You're just simple. You keep letting Satan get you in the same exact thing, the same exact area for the past 10 weeks because you're not doing what you gotta do to be diligent. You're not doing what you gotta do to self-examine and see, dang, where do I keep slipping up? Because yes, man's going to the Lord, but we gotta take accountability for our actions. We can't be in the truth and just keep saying, oh, what was Satan? When are we gonna take accountability for our actions? So we can't be simple in this truth. We can't be ignorant of Satan's devices. We gotta sit back and we gotta be diligent in this thing. We gotta sit back and self-examine, dang, Where do I keep slipping up? We got to sit back and examine how can I, what can I do through the principle of the Most High to overcome this demon? If you're not doing anything to truly want to overcome this demon, if you're not doing anything to truly try to seek the Most High, then Satan's going to keep getting you in that same exact area because you're not doing what you got to do to rebuke him. You're not doing what you got to do to pray to the Lord. You're not doing what you got to do to fast that spirit out. You're not doing what you got to do so the spiritual demon, Satan, and the flesh keep overcoming you every single time because you're not doing what you got to do to be diligent to fight against the spiritual demon, Satan. So now you're ignorant of his devices and he keep getting you in the same exact area because you're not putting up a fight. You're not equipped to fight in the spiritual battlefield because you ain't being diligent. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, or am I just rambling?
Well, says that makes sense. I'll praise him.
Kind of makes sense. Which verse did you read, Slocky?
2 Corinthians 2:11. 2 Corinthians 2:11. So you can't be ignorant of Satan's devices. Satan is going to do everything he can to get us out this truth, y'all. Every single thing he can. Let me be back. I can get my part. Like Satan, Esau took the editions of Esther off the Apocrypha online, so I had to get my Apocrypha out the room. And I couldn't find it. Satan, he kind of wiped my mind where it was, but I found it. I praise. So like, let me get this precept. Stay with me, Bukasha. She's one of my favorite precepts right now. This is Esther chapter 16 and verse 12, verse 13. But he, not bearing his great dignity, went about to deprive us of our kingdom and life, having by manifold and cunning deceit sought of us the destruction as well of Mardochaeus, who saved our life and continually procured our good, as also of blameless Esther, partaker of our kingdom with their whole nation. So Satan is going to do every single thing he can. So let me write this down quick. Satan's going to do everything he can to deprive us out of to deprive us from the kingdom. He's going to do every single thing he can to get us to not get the kingdom of the Most High. He's going to do everything he can to get us to get our mind not focused on the Most High through cunning deceits. Satan is not going to come down the street with Esau like he's not going to come down the street as a big red thing and horns. You know, he's gonna hop on people. He's gonna do everything he can and Satan is a liar in a cunning and deceitful way to get you to not get the kingdom. You know, so if you're struggling with a procrastination demon, it's gonna be a new Netflix series that come out. It's your favorite show, and now you're binge watching it for the past 2 weeks. You can't remember the last time you read and fasted. You know, Satan is gonna do everything he can to throw something in your way. He's going to do everything he can to get you to not get the kingdom, but we can't be ignorant of his devices. We can't be simple in the truth. We got to know when it's Satan. We got to continue to do the work and be diligent and gird up our loins and rebuke Satan, do the things that we need to do so we're able to know when it's Satan, do the things that we need to do so we know We know when to say and do the things that we need to do to rebuke Satan, to call upon the name of the Lord. We can't be simple in the truth because Satan's going to do everything he can. He desires to sift us out this truth. He literally desires to sift us out this truth. So if we're not staying diligent in this thing, we're not going to be able to know when it's Satan. You know, and then we're just going to be given over to it. This is Luke 22:31. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to sift you. So like Satan have desired to have you that he may sift you as wheat. So Satan desires to have every single one of us. And like Brazier said, or if it was found, I don't remember. But Satan is not going to, these spiritual demons are not going to be like, oh, well, she's been in the truth for this long. And I think she's had enough. I think we're done messing with her. No. Satan don't get no days off. We know that Satan is working overtime. Like I like to say, like Miss Mother like to say, Satan, he don't take a break. If anything, he working overtime. He getting extra shifts, anything. He working the so-called holidays. He's not getting a day off. Satan is not getting a day off. Satan is not going to say, well, she's had enough. Satan is going to keep breathing down your back, breathing down your neck. He's going to do everything he can to get you to not get the kingdom. Every single thing he can to get you to not get the kingdom of heaven. He's going to do everything he can to sift you out. He desires to sift us out. So that's why we got to stay diligent. We can't keep constantly falling to the traps of the spiritual demons. Satan, we got to have that discernment and do what we got to do to gird up our loins, to do what we got to do to stay diligent in this truth and to rebuke Satan, to wear the whole armor of the Most High, Yahweh, Bahasham, Masham, like Hawashah. So we're able to be equipped in the spiritual battlefield. Because this is the condition of the battle. It get tough out here. And if you ain't wearing the whole armor of the Most High, Yahweh, Bahasham, Mashah, hey, the spiritual demon, Satan, in the flesh is going to overcome you every single time because you ain't wearing the whole armor of the Lord. And you not wearing the whole armor of the Lord because you ain't being diligent. You ain't got the whole armor on because you too worried about some other BS and some other fall in the world. The armor of the Lord is the last thing on your mind. You said to hell with the armor of the Lord. The sister dropped in the chat Romans 6:16. Know ye not that to whom, her name is K, Shalom K. Know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey his servants, ye are to whom ye obey, whether of sin unto death, of obedience unto righteousness. But Yahweh be thanked that ye were the servants of sin, but ye have obeyed from the heart that form of doctrine was delivered from you. She said, don't serve procrastination, slothfulness, lust, being lukewarm, etc., lest you become a slave to it. So we can't be serving these others. We can't be serving these spirits of demons. You know, so I can write that precept down. You can't be servants of these spiritual demons. You can't let the lust of the flesh overcome you every single time. You know, the dang lust demon overcame you. The dang slothful demon overcame you. Procrastination demon overcame you. Lukewarm demon overcame you. And now you're serving these things. Now you're being lustful. Now you're really lusting. Now you're really slothful. Now you're lukewarm, and now you're not doing works. You're not doing none of these things no more because you have become a slave to these spiritual demons because you weren't doing what you got to do to be diligent. We weren't doing what we got to do to be diligent in this truth. And now we've become a slave to these spiritual demons, and the Most High has given us over to these nasty, wicked spiritual demons and the lust of the flesh because we weren't staying diligent. It is imperative that we stay diligent in this truth. It is imperative that we're growing in this truth and increasing through the power and spirit of the Most High, that we're bearing some type of fruit, because if we're not bearing fruit and doing the works, we can get cut down. The Most High can strip us out of our glory, strip his garments, strip our spiritual garments of us like he did Aaron. He can take his spirit away from us like he did Samson, because Samson said, I'll do it tomorrow. He can take his glory away from us and overthrow us and set darkness in our path like he did Job. The Most High can do what he want to do. He can do that. So we got to stay diligent in this truth. We got to continue to do the works of our and move it as far as foremothers. And fear the Most High, and walk like the Hawashah as much as possible. I had this 1 Timothy 4:13. Till I come and give attendance to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine. So we got to give attendance to these things. We always got to be occupied in these scripts. We always got to be occupied to read. We got to give attendance unto these things. You know, we got to give attendance unto these things. Until Yahweh returns, we got to stay diligent in this truth. You must stay diligent in this truth. Y'all, but ended off with this. That's all I have. Anybody else had another precept? But that's crazy because these are precepts I always ended off with, but these are also go with the lesson. So I'm gonna bring these out again. Revelation 2:5. Remember, therefore, from whence thou art fallen, and repent and do the first work, so else I will come unto thee quickly and remove thy candlestick out of his place if thou repent. So we don't want our candlestick to get blown out in this truth. So we gotta stay diligent. We don't want the Most High Yahweh to remove his spirit from us, because it is the Most High Spirit. You can't let these spiritual demons get comfortable in your spiritual. You can't let these spiritual demons get comfortable in your spiritual tabernacle. You know, the temple of the Most High Yahweh Shemashah. You got to do what you got to do to rebuke these spiritual demons so we can be found as blameless as possible when Yahweh returns. So we don't want the Most High to take his spirit away from us and to cut us down. You know, we want to be like that blessed servant in the book of Matthew chapter 24. Blessed is the servant when Yahweh returns, he's doing the works. We don't want to be the evil servant when Yahweh returns, we're going to fall back in the world. We done lost the faith. You know, because Yahweh Shemashah can give us over to these things. Let me get that precept real quick. And this is the book of Romans chapter 1 and verse 24. And it says, wherefore Yahweh also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. So Yahweh Shemashah gave them over up to these uncleanness and through the lust of their own hearts and the lust of the flesh. He gave them over to these things. And we don't want the Most High Yahweh Shemashah to give us over to these things. But he can do that. We don't know, y'all. We do not deserve this truth. We don't know who's going to make it to the kingdom. We don't know who's going to be a part of 1/3, who's going to be a part of 2/3. We don't know who's going to do it to the end. Only the Most High knows. We don't deserve this truth. We didn't do nothing to get this truth. We're literally on this truth by the Most High mercy and grace. Literally. That's the only reason we're in this truth. So we got to stay diligent. The Most High owes us nothing. So if the Most High want to sift us out, he can do that. How forbid any of us fall out, we got to stay diligent though. We got to continue to make sure the call of our election is sure. Let me get that. All right. This is 2 Peter 1:10. Wherefore, the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure, for you do these things, you shall never fail. So we got to continue to make the calling of our election sure. Do everything we can to make sure the calling of our election is sure. Everything we can. And then no, that's not off. I pray for that. I pray for that every single day. That doing the works never become grievous unto us, and that we truly sincerely want to do the works. No, that's something we need to pray for, you know, because the Most High can do what he want to do. No, that's not off to pray for that. I pray for that. You know, I pray that, you know, the Most High continue to put in our spirit to I pray for that actually. That's the spirit. I pray that the Most High continue to put in our spirit to truly want to do the works. You know, I pray that the Most High put in our spirit to truly want to read, to be sincere in this thing, that the works never become grievous unto us. Okay, we don't want the Most High to put the spirit in us to where the works then became grievous. We don't want to read no more. We don't want to study. We don't want to pray. So that's definitely something we should also pray for if it's in your spirit. And then again, you know, closing it off, Revelations 3:15, I know thy works that thou art neither cold nor hot, I will thou work cold or hot. So then because thou art lukewarm, neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. Yahweh Shai would rather have you in the truth or out the truth than rather you be lukewarm. So ask yourself, you gonna really be in this thing and serve the Lord? Or is you just gonna wing it out? Are you really gonna be in this truth and serve the Most High Shai? Or do you want your candlestick blown out? We gotta be diligent in this truth. The Most High bless us with this truth. It's a blessing to have an eye to see and ear to hear. We don't want the Most High to take his spirit from us and we're spiritually drunk. So do the works, y'all. We gotta do the works of the Lord Yahweh by Hashem like Yahweh. It is a blessing to even be in this truth. It's a blessing to call upon the name of the Lord in sincerity and in truth. It's gonna be my last precept. Lord willing. This is Joshua chapter 24 and verse 14. Now therefore fear the Lord and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood, and serve you the Lord. We got to serve the Most High by Shema in sincerity and in truth. truly wanted to do the works, truly wanted to pray, truly wanted to repent, truly wanted to do better. Not just because we're commanded to, because we sincerely, truly want to do the works of the Most High Yahweh. We sincerely, truly want to get the kingdom, Lord willing. We sincerely, truly want to be a part of 1/3, Lord willing. So we got to continue to stay diligent, continue to press toward the mark. Forget about the world. This place is going to be destroyed soon. Focus on your salvation and work out your own salvation with trembling and fear. Let me get that precept real quick. This is the book of Philippians, chapter 2 and verse 12. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with trembling and fear. So we got to work out our own salvation with trembling and fear. No, getting the kingdom is not going to be handed to us. We got to work for it. You know, Lord willing, getting the kingdom, that's not going to be handed to us. We got to work for it. Trying to be better, it's not going to, we got to work for these things. We got to work to be blameless as possible in the house of the Lord. We got to work to be more diligent. We got to work out our own salvation with trembling and fear. Our salvation is on the line. It's a blessing the Most High brought us into this truth, but I see it here. Not everyone has that blessing to know the name of the Lord and stand in truth, to really serve the Lord, to come back to our heritage. Not everybody is awakened. The Lord is not dealing with the whole nation of Israel. But the fact that he chose every single one of you sisters on his call, that's a blessing. You have a chance at the kingdom, Lord. Well, you got a chance of repentance. So get right and work out your own salvation and do the works of the Most High Yahweh. We don't know how much time we got. So we got to continue to stay diligent in this thing. We got to continue to stay diligent in this truth. And I'm going to get it off. That's really all I had. And Colossians 3:23, whatever and whatsoever ye do it heartily as to the Lord and not unto men. So do the works of the Most High Yahweh with all thy might. And do it for the Lord. Don't do it to get approval from men. Oh, that's a mighty sister. Don't do it to hear, oh, you're doing a great, oh, that's a mighty sister. Don't do it to get approval from men and to get a clap from men, but do it so Lord willing, you can get, do it so Lord willing, you can get the kingdom. Do it so Lord willing, the Most High Yahweh is saying, you know, well done, my faithful servant, not depart from I never knew you. Do it for the right reason. Don't be reading and studying because you want to be seen by man and you want to be seen as the mightiest sister ever. Serve the Most High with all thy might and sincerity and the truth, because you truly want to serve the Lord, because you truly want the kingdom, because you want to please your Father, because you're so tired of going off. You hate this flesh. We've been, you know, going off forever, and we still go off every single day. I'm tired of going off. I'm tired of this flesh. I want to do right in the eyes of the Lord. And in the kingdom, Lord willing, will never hurt the Most High feelings ever again. So serve the Lord with all thy might and sincere the truth for the right reasons. Because you never want to go off in the eyes of the Lord again. Because you sincerely want to serve the Lord. So kind of that's really all I had. You know, I love y'all. Continue to endure. If anybody had anything they want to say or any precept they want to bring out, the floor is yours. But, you know, we got to stay diligent in this truth. And, you know, we don't want our candlestick to get blown out. You know, we don't want the Most High to take his spirit away from us and cut us down. But he can do that if he wants to, if he chooses to. The Lord willing, we continue to stay diligent, continue to press toward the mark, continue to do the works of a woman, whether it's reading, cleaning, praying, studying. You got to just do the works as a woman. Continue to fulfill your role in this truth. Ask the Most High, you know, what it is he has called you to do, because all of us have a role in this truth we need to fulfill to make the body of Yahweh Shah, because we're all one body through Yahweh Shah. So just continue to ask the Lord to allow you to fulfill the will he's called you to fulfill, because everyone's life is different, and stay diligent. Be mindful of the leisure time you have and continue to serve the Lord with all thy might and sincerity and in truth. Do everything you can to make sure the calling of your election is sure. Continue to put away the old woman. Continue to kill the flesh. You know, be ready to lose it all for Yahweh Shema Shah. Be bold for this truth and be diligent so your candlestick do not get blown out. Yahweh forbid. I love y'all. You know, Lord willing, y'all Shabbat, y'all Sabbath is beautiful. And that's all I had. Shalom. Go ahead.
Shalom.
Shalom, sis. Love you. Love y'all.
Shalom, sis.
Shalom, sis. Shalom, y'all. I love y'all.
Shalom.
Shalom.